Last week, me and my best friend gave a bootcamp in Amsterdam where we taught 5 guys the beautiful skill of cold approach. Basically taught them how to meet girls in daytime and in nighttime. It was a pretty fun process because out of these 5 guys, there was only one that had ever approached a girl in his entire life before. And the remaining 4 had never done it. They were between 27 and 37. So I got a full range of background, of full range of guys. It was super fun. And I thought that what I'm going to share in today's video is how these guys that had never talked to women before overcame their fear of doing it. Because the truth is, it happens to everyone. It happens to guys that have never talked to women before. It happens to guys that do this their entire life. And most of my friends that have done this for years still have this quote unquote approach anxiety, the fear of talking to women. I still have it many times. The truth is, it will never really go away. Just how you deal with it will become different. You and I, when we go out on the street and we see a woman we find attractive, we will both slightly get a dry mouth. We will both feel our heart rate rising. We'll both maybe even feel our heart racing, our throat becoming a bit more tight. The only difference is that I will not let this hold me back. If I find her very attractive, most of the time I will go over and talk to her. And most men will not do it because their fear overwhelms them. So it's not that I don't feel that emotion. It's just that I will act anyways. So book recommendation that I cannot recommend enough is The Flinch. I will link it down below. It's a free book. You can read it in about an hour. If you struggle with approach anxiety or fear of taking action, go read that book. And with that said, let's go into the actual video. I'm basically freestyling this from memory, but I want you to go through the individual points. Each of these points will be a separate point that can really help you overcome approach anxiety. So the first thing I want you to do is realize that whenever you don't approach a girl, there might be a rational sounding explanation of why you didn't do it. Maybe you're thinking, wow, I cannot interrupt her here, or she's with her friends, or I'm gonna bother her here. The truth is that whatever the rational thought is that you hear in your brain is caused by either fear or shame. That is the 2 underlying emotions, fear and shame. The goal should be to better understand when it's actually fear or shame and what is causing that fear or shame, because better understanding it will just lower its threshold. It will never fully disappear, but it will become a lot less powerful and have less power over you. The way I recommend my students do it is start using a Claude chat or ChatGPT chat where you basically tell Claude or ChatGPT that it should act as your therapist with regard to overcoming this fear of talking to women and helping you understand what's causing it. And then tell it every single time you do an approach what thoughts you had on your mind. Tell ChatGPT or Claude what happened in your brain, what you were thinking about when you saw that girl, what held you back from doing it. And again, the goal should not be to overthink this and talk to ChatGPT about every single approach for an hour. It should just be somehow log it and try to better understand what caused it. Typically, it's something that happened in the past, or it's a fear of something that could happen that has never really happened. And if you understand what that fear is or why you're ashamed of something, you can really lower the power this emotion has over you. Second thing I want you to do is lower the expectation. Lower the expectation of how good the approach has to be and lower the expectation of what has to come of it. The reality is that even just going up and giving the girl a compliment and continuing on with your day will cause growth. And that is not something that I'm telling you, it's based in science. We have something in our brain that's called the AMCC. Forgot what it's called. I'm gonna put it here on the screen. The AMCC is basically an area of your brain that's responsible for how good you are at doing things that you find uncomfortable or that scares you. And every time you do something that you find uncomfortable or that scares you, that area becomes stronger. It basically grows. Now, whenever you do an approach that you're afraid of doing, no matter how the approach goes, that area of your brain becomes stronger. And the good thing about that is that if you keep doing this again and again, the fear of doing that thing will inherently lower. And because of that, you free up mental RAM, mental capacity to do other things, to focus on being more funny, being more witty, planning the conversation, asking better questions, listening better. So just by lowering the threshold of your fear simply through exposure, the other areas of your quote unquote game will improve. Second thing is lower the expectation of how good the things are that you have to say. You will sometimes be scared. So am I. What we say might not be the funniest thing ever. It might even sometimes be weird. But that's okay. The girl will notice that you're nervous. You can even verbalize it. You can tell her, hey, I don't usually do this, but I saw you on the other side of the street and I couldn't help myself. I just wanted to come over and introduce myself. Hi, please forgive me if I'm being too ridiculous. Please forgive me if I say anything nonsensical. Here I am. My name is whatever your name is, right? Verbalize it. Use that as material for conversation. The third thing is surround yourself with the right people. You want to have a group of friends. If you do this with friends, a group of friends that is very uplifting. When you talk to a girl or when they talk to a girl, no matter the outcome, fist bump them, high five them. This should all be fun. Meeting other people, interacting with other people, meeting girls. It should be fun. It should be uplifting. It should improve your life. So make it a fun experience, even if you get rejected. So what? You got rejected? Nobody really cares, right? It doesn't really matter ultimately. 5 years down the line, you will 99% certain not remember that approach, that conversation, or that rejection unless it went really well. Fourth and last element is that for me personally, I would rather be rejected by 99 girls, have 99 really bad conversations that go nowhere, but have one out of these hundreds that really is a girl that I find attractive, that finds me attractive, and we just have a match in our personalities. That is what I'm looking for. Ideally, that is what you should be looking for, that one standout person. Nobody cares about the other 99. Who cares that the girl rejected you, that you didn't really find that attractive? Who cares that the girl rejected you, that you were not a match with? It's completely irrelevant on a historical timeline or whatever. What matters is finding these golden nuggets, these girls that we meet occasionally that we find super attractive, that find us attractive, and we're already a match. And we want to get better at this whole thing. So the few times a year we meet a girl like this, we don't fuck it up. And that's why we have to get better at this. That's why we have to work on this. That's why I want to help you excel at this. Actually, that being said, there's a link to my calendar down below. If you want help with any of these, if you want to come on one of my programs, let's hop on a call and chat. Now, just to wrap this up, in my mind, the better you get at showcasing your personality, at showing who you are, at making the girl experience you, the easier it's going to get for you to filter for the right kind of girl. Because girls that respond well to you, that means that they like you. They don't like some fake persona that you put up. They don't like some appearance. They like the real you. Now, this might also mean that some girls will reject you for who you are. But again, for me, that's fine. I would rather have a bunch of girls reject me for who I really am than somebody liking me for something that I'm not. Because if you are faking it, the girl that you start dating based on that fake persona, she doesn't like the real you, and she might not like the real you when she eventually meets the real you, which is always going to happen down the line. I'm gonna leave you with that. Let's go crush it. You go crush it. I'm actually gonna go out and crush it as well, and I'll see you in my next video.